Hi, I'm Josie, and this is how to knit a row of knit stitches in knitting. A knit stitch is one of the two basic stitches in knitting, so as a beginning knitter, you will see this technique in a lot of patterns. For this project, you will need to know how to cast on, and any method will work. For materials, you will need knitting needles in the size that your project requires, and a ball of yarn in the size that your project requires. If you do not have a specific project in mind, you can use any pair of needles and any yarn recommended for those needles. For this video, you will also need to know the terms working yarn and stitch. Working yarn is the yarn that is attached to the ball of yarn in your live stitches. This is the yarn you will use to form new stitches. A stitch is an individual loop of yarn that makes up a piece of knitted fabric. You will see the live stitches on your needle, and those are stitches that are ready to be worked. Now we're ready to start. To begin, you will need to cast on for your project. Cast on the number of stitches required for your project. If you do not have a specific project, you can cast on any number of practice stitches. I have 5 here. Any cast on method will work. Then you will need to position your knitting needles. Hold the needle with the cast on stitches in your left hand. This is also the needle that is attached to your ball of yarn, with the working yarn coming out of that first stitch. Hold the needle without any stitches in your right hand. Your needles will remain in this position while you knit the row of stitches. Now it's time to initiate a knit stitch. You will do this by inserting the right needle into the first stitch on your left needle. Now both needles are in the first stitch. Let me show you that again. Insert the right needle into the back of that first stitch. Both of your needles are in the first stitch. Now it's time to form the knit stitch. You will wrap the working yarn around the right needle from right to left. Let me show you that again. You will wrap the yarn around the right needle from right to left. Make sure to ease the tension on your yarn so that the new stitch is easy to work in the next row. Now it's time to grab the new stitch. You will do this by inserting the right needle between the yarn and the left needle. So gently duck that needle in between the new yarn. Now it's time to pull the yarn through. This forms the new stitch on your right needle, right here. To complete the knit stitch, you will drop the first stitch that you're working on off of the left needle, just like that. And you can kind of gently pull your yarn, and that's your knit stitch. To complete the row of knit stitch, you will continue working a knit stitch into each stitch on your left needle. I'll show you the next one. Insert your right needle into the back of that first needle on the left needle. Then wrap your working yarn from right to left around that right needle. Remember to ease the tension so that the new stitch is easy to work in the next row. Then insert the right needle between the yarn and the left needle. Gently pull through and drop that stitch off of the left needle. Now we have 3 stitches on our left needle and 2 stitches on the right. Continue knitting until each stitch on your left needle has been knit. We have 2 more stitches. We're wrapping the yarn, dipping under, pushing off. Once we have 1 more stitch on the left needle to knit, we have finished our row. Now, all of our stitches are on the right needle. To continue working on your project, you will need to reposition your needles. Switch the right needle with the left needle, and now you're back in the starting position and you're ready to work your next row.